Virgo, hello, Amanda here. Welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. This is going to be your September shift reading. So we are looking at the shape you're shifting out of in Virgo season, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Happy birthday to all the September Virgos out there. So Virgo, before we get into your cards, the image that's coming to me for you is the Wheel of Fortune, and I'm feeling great change. And I say that because it came up as I was shuffling the decks, various decks for the extended reading. I saw the Wheel of Fortune a couple of times in a couple of different decks, and I just keep feeling like this is a month where things really begin to change. You know, it's like the phrase came to me that this is where everything changes, and it's like that's a pretty intense statement. So that I'm sure will be true to varying degrees for different Virgos, but it could be that intense for some folks. But I'm just feeling like a lot of change. That wheel is finally turning. Okay, and I'm actually being reminded that, my favorite YouTube tarot reader is San Tarot, S-A-N Tarot. I think you'll find our styles are kin to one another if you check out her work. And she did a reading recently for Virgo. I think it was called something like You Want to Move Really Fast or something like that. That is actually pretty similar to the energy that I'm feeling here about change. And maybe the wheel was, I believe, a pretty prominent feature in her reading as well, though it might not have been called that in the deck she was using. So check that out, San Tarot. We'll see. We're going to use the fairy deck here and see what this message means and how it's coming through this channel for you, Virgo. So I'm using the fairy deck. It's been coming through in personal readings a lot lately, really wanting to speak. So I'm not surprised that it's coming through here in September, and I'm excited to see what it has to say for you, Virgo, in Virgo season. What is the shape shift for Virgo in September? Ooh, la la. Ooh, okay, all right. Yeah, talk about shape shift. Okay. Whoa. 1 second. All right. Didn't expect that. This RAR is coming out for everybody. It's really wild. Okay. I have a feeling that this... By everybody, by the way, I mean Cancer, Leo, and now Virgo. Like, no matter how much I shuffle these cards, and I shuffle these cards for a very long time. Okay, this is not following my format at all. It's doing its own thing, and that's cool. So, I'll try to tell the story here. Wow, Virgo. So we have Laced the Moon's Daughter and Epona's Wild Daughter. Interesting, these two. Similar, if not the same being. Twins almost, right? Notice they both got the same horse leg, which horse energy speaks to me of the chariot. Being ready to spring into action, ready to launch, okay? Ready to move. And these two are facing one another. They're looking at one another. I mean, really, this is the same being. It's kind of wild. I think there's something coming out this month. Something big. A big energy that's been building. That's what I feel with the RAR. This big energy that's been building. I mean, it's like atomic scale, okay? It's been building up. And now it's this like space body that's just like holding all of this energy. And when it gets to the right time at the right place and the wheel turns and this drops. It's like, right? So some bit of information dropping in September, Virgo, that I think changes everything and makes you perhaps, okay, so it's illuminating information that says he of the fiery sword, which to me just speaks of truth and action. You know, it's like the sword of truth, information, a truth bomb. I mean, that's literally how you could interpret this, a truth bomb, some sort of big piece of information coming in that kind of explains maybe why you have been feeling held back. Notice how this like larger entity here, Epona speaks to me of the horse, right? The horse, the chariot being ready to move, but it's almost like here, Epona, the chariot, is holding you, here's you, holding you down or holding you back in some way. And it's sort of like there's a question here as to why, right? Like why, no matter what efforts I'm doing, why does it feel like I'm being held down or held in place? And this is super similar to Sand's reading, so I really encourage you to go check it out. That's never happened before, actually. That one of my readings seems to be so exactly connected to one of hers. That's really cool. Yeah. It's like you've been pinned in place or pinned down in some way, held down, held back from moving in the way you want to move and taking action the way you want to take action in the world. Like coming into the full power of your truth and the truth of like who you are and the truth of your full power, your full abilities. But until now, you've been maybe like really held in place, and it's been a rough road as to like, why am I being held here? I mean, the owl is here for deeper wisdom. You're not being held for no reason. It's like you've been held to gain some sort of depth of wisdom, and now it's like the Rar is here, ready to release the beast. Okay. Like ready, it lines up just in the right place, and that's actually how I'm seeing it. That's cool. Look at this. It drops, and this launches. It's like something in you is being skyrocketed, and you're gonna understand. See the difference here? If this is this larger entity of movement and feeling like you are free to roam about the cabin, so to speak, has been holding you down, this energy of Laced, the moon's daughter, now seems to have gained an understanding, come to the other side of it, and can now, you know, comes around to the other side of it and can now see, okay, that's why I was being held back. That's the piece of information or whatever, the catalyst that I needed that I didn't have before, and now I have. I understand why the energy had to build and build and build for so long, because now I'm ready for this new ability or new skill set or new power or new resource to work with. That's going to, you know, it's like I had to be ready for it, and now it's here, and I understand why I was held back for so long. And it's almost like you're looking back at it with humor, looking into the reflection of your past self and past circumstances with a sense of understanding and good humor, frankly, about it. Because look at this, it's like what you were standing on before. This owl transforms into a being that is quite tangible, almost like a guide, a support that looks up at you winking like, yeah, see, do you see now? Do you see why it had to be that way? Okay, right? But it's like, now you're ready to launch. Now what's interesting, this sort of wild card in the whole thing is right in the center is this Glackoner. This like creep fest figure. This is the creepiest card in this deck to me, but what's kind of fascinating about this is the author of the deck, Brian Froud, talks about it as a shapeshifter. So it is as if you yourself, Virgo, are shifting shape in some way when this comes in and drops, when this pent up energy, an energy that's been building within you, but also outside of you, you know, like the fact that this roar is coming through in 3 different readings now, this could be something quite collective, which is also interesting because that came through in Sand's reading, is that like, this is something we are all experiencing on a much larger scale, but it's specifically for some reason coming in for you, Virgo, because maybe you're experiencing this on a really personal level. But it's like this roar is something much larger coming in, and there's a larger energetic release that has massive implications, maybe collectively, but certainly for you, because it's like it's lighting up. I'm almost seeing it as like a sword. This is so cheesy, but it's what's coming through. It's like the sword in the stone that's been stuck in the stone. See? Stuck in the stone, held down on purpose until the time was right, until the right person comes along who is the one who can pull that sword from the stone, because they are the one who can handle that kind of power. Something like that. And now the full power of that sword can be revealed. The full power of you can be revealed, and it's like a major shape shift for you. And what's interesting about the Glackoner, it's a shifty character, but what's important about the card for me is the mask. This mask that this fairy is wearing, and it almost obscures this little critter behind in the head. See that? It's like the mask being taken off to reveal who you truly are, Virgo. Your destiny, Virgo. You know, it's a bit of a silly, dramatic way of saying it, but I think you get the picture. And I think there's a lot more information to come through about this. Yeah, we're going to get into it in the extended, but I just felt you are not what you seem, or all your life is not what it seems. Like your life up until this point, it's like, it's not what it seems. And I just saw 1313, which is 13 is the death energy, the death type transformation, where like a version of you is about to end because a whole new version is about to begin. This is a transformation. A shapeshifter is someone with the ability to transform. And now I saw 1331. Okay, 1331. It's like, yeah, it's like, ooh, that's interesting. 1313, and then it's like a swap. 1331 from 1313 to 1331. It's like there's something flipping. There's something swapping. Something's happening. Something special, Virgo. Something quite special. We're going to dive into it, see what it's all about in the extended reading. All right, my friends. So now I'm going to take this story that's coming through so far, and we're going to take it into an extended where I pull other cards to get some more clarity and see how this story unfolds. If you'd like to join me there, you can click the link in the description box below, and that will take you over to Patreon. Patreon is an online community that I've created for folks who enjoy my work and want to dive deeper. If that sounds like you, head on over there, read the description in on the landing page when you get there, so you know how a patronage works, and then I will send you the extended reading for September. All right, Virgo, happy birthday. Okay, what a wild, majorly transforming birthday energy here for you at your solar return. This is very exciting. All right, Virgo, take care. I'll talk to you soon. You understand the journey of the moon card, the journey of the moon energy, because you've been living it your whole life, and now you're kind of on the other side of it. And so it's like Moon checkpoint reached, you know? And now Epona's wild daughter, who you also are, can be fully unleashed because you've gained the wisdom of the moon. It's like, this is totally the energy of the moon card, this image. Doubled over, folded in half, stuck in place and unable to see. Having to tap into the wisdom of the owl who can see in the dark. It's like you learned how to see in the dark by being in the dark for so long. And now that you're no longer in the dark, you're on the other side of it, you see why you had to gain that kind of wisdom. And now you, as Epona's wild daughter, can be unleashed, which is the energy of like being able to move like the horse, like the chariot. You now are free to roam about the cabin, so to speak, Virgo.